Hello, one and all. This might be with My Hero Academia, Chapter 368, Rev Up One for All. And you know, I would truly and honestly like this video to be about Deku finally unlocking his second user's quirk and becoming a freaking Time Lord. But instead, I need to talk about the color page, because Horikoshi, in all of his wisdom, decided that in the midst of what's supposed to be the most exciting battle in this entire series, to draw a 16-year-old girl wearing nothing but gloves, boots, and tape. Why does the tape make it worse? Why does the tape make it so much freaking worse? Seriously. And alright, let's start with the positives first. I love the design of Invisible Girl. From like the shoulders up. Her green/yellow/pink rainbow hair. It's amazing. And her eyes are so captivating. Seriously, this might be the best designed character in Class 1A. I absolutely love her. But why is she naked? Why on God's green earth is she freaking naked? I may know the argument, oh, this is her hero outfit, this is how she always looks in battle. But why does her hero outfit have to involve her being naked? I mean, I get it, back when she was first introduced to the character, and it's like, oh, I'm invisible, but my clothes aren't. I had a good laugh at that, like, oh, that's funny. She has to fight naked. That was 300 chapters ago. Horikoshi has had 300 freaking chapters to give her some sort of development so she doesn't have to be naked all the time, and he has done nothing. At any point, he could have said, oh, her quirk evolved, so now she can turn other things invisible as well, including her clothes. Yay! That would have been something, But even if Horikoshi didn't want to go down that route, he's already given us a solution, namely Lemillion, who had the exact same problem she does. His quirk didn't affect his clothes, so he ended up fighting naked a lot. And his solution was to make his hero costume out of his own hair, meaning he'd be affected by his quirk. Why has Invisible Girl not thought of that? Why hasn't she gone to the design department and said, hey, can you use my hair to make me some sort of outfit, even bikini? Even a bikini would be a million times better than just, being completely naked and exposed to the elements every time I want to fight somebody. It's wrong. It is so overwhelmingly wrong. Seriously. And just to include this in the midst of this huge, exciting, epic battle, it's weird. It is so utterly, utterly weird. And I think this really just goes to show that Horikoshi bit off way more than he could chew when it came to designing Class 1A. There's too many students. There's just too many freaking students. I mean, seriously, we have the A-tier students like Deku, Bakugo, and Shoto. The story is very clearly about them. My Hero Academia is their story. Then we have the B-tier students like Uraka and Ida. The story is kind of about them. They've had their own substantial arc, and they are somewhat important, or at least they were important at some point in the storyline. And then we have the C-tier students like Mina and Kirishima. They have their own arcs, their own stories in this series. And then at the bottom, we have the F-tier characters like Sugar Rush, Sero, the dude that can talk to animals, those who are completely and utterly forgettable and have done basically nothing this entire series except help in one or two very specific problems. So, yeah, it's very, very clear that Horikoshi should make Class 1A like half the size it is right now. And then the characters we got could have gotten so much more time and development. And then maybe Invisible Girl wouldn't have to be naked all the time. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, seriously, even Horikoshi has gone on record and said he's forgotten about Invisible Girl several times. He's forgotten to include her in scenes simply because he forgot she existed. So, yeah, that annoys me. That definitely annoys me. I love the design. I hate how she's depicted. Anyway, though, back in the actual start of the chapter, Deku wants to save Shigaraki because, of freaking course he does. And all from one is very insistent, like, oh no, we've merged, we've combined, we're one singular entity. Even though that is very, very clearly not the case. We can clearly see Shigaraki trying to force himself out of All For One, trying to take control back of his own body. And even Lemillion confirms, like, yeah, he's definitely still in there somehow, some way. And I just love his line here, when I made a rude accusation a while ago. Seriously, dude, Shigaraki has been trying to kill you for a very long time, and you said your line was rude. Oh, I love Lemillion. I freaking love Lemillion. So Deku begins the battle to find a way, somehow, some way, to save Shigaraki. And it is, certainly intense. All of UA ends up literally tilting on its side, and Homura is just so obsessed with the work, she barely even notices. Oh, I love that girl. I absolutely love that girl. And see, that is a character who, even though we haven't seen her for a very long time, she feels more relevant than a lot of members of Class 1A. Just saying. Then Deku somehow finds a way to combine Fajin with Black Whip to make Black Chain, which, yeah, I'm not really sure exactly what he's doing here. I mean, Fajin has the ability to store energy, So is then he just, transferring the energy to his black chain to make it more powerful, to make it able to grab Shigaraki? I guess that would make some sense. It's weird. It's definitely weird. But then things get oh so much stranger when Deku finally activates the second user's quirk, Gear Shift, a meta ability that changes a target's speed when touched. And a lot of people online are complaining, oh, so this just makes Deku faster, and Fajin just made him stronger. They're such pointless, stupid quirks. They could have just said, oh, Deku got stronger, Deku got faster, but instead they need to add in new quirks. It's so stupid. But I don't think that's actually what's happening here, because it doesn't say increases your own speed, it said increases the speed of a target when touched. And I'm assuming this means that Deku's actually not only making himself faster, but also slowing Shigaraki down, which will allow him to actually deliver some serious blows. And what's more, this could be a very powerful support ability for Deku to have. Because if he's actually slowing Shigaraki down, and he can speed up Bakugo, that would be a game changer right there. That would absolutely be a game changer, because Bakugo was so close to being able to catch up to Shigaraki, to being able to move fast enough to actually do some serious damage to him, and a small speed boost from Deku might let Bakugo close that gap and finally go toe-to-toe against Shigaraki. Oh, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. And also, just seriously, if Deku had actually arrived in time, if he hadn't been caught by Toga, he could have used this speed boost on every single, hero here, and this would have been a much different fight. If they all could have been, 2, 3, 4 times faster, they probably could have done some serious damage to Shigaraki and put him down for good a very long time ago. Unfortunately, Deku had to make a dramatic late entrance, trying to be so fashionable. Though I do also have some other questions about this quirk, because there are two things that were said here that are very interesting. The second user says that it's an entirely different beast from what it was back in the day, so what exactly was the original version of this quirk? He says, oh, and Deku's turn went from 100% to 120%, but that doesn't really explain how it's all that different. If you're just saying, oh, it got a 20% boost, that's not all that impressive. Like, seriously, if after all these, generations of One For All users, it's only 20% more effective, that's pathetic. That's utterly pathetic. If it's actually, entirely different beast, then what was the original version of this quirk? I really want a flashback that actually explains that, because, All For One was afraid of the second user's quirk. It was apparently something that was actually able to do some real damage to him, so yeah, I have questions. I have a lot of questions about that. And speaking of questions, the second user also says that Deku needs to finish this war in 5 minutes or the entire world is doomed, which, that's a great clock she's put in this battle. That's a very Shonen Jump moment right there. We need to win in 5 minutes or we're all gonna die. Seriously, that's cliche. That is as cliche as it gets. But this was mentioned when Deku was trying to, get to UA as quickly as possible. He thought, okay, if I use the second user's quirk, I can get there much faster. But the second user said, no, that's a last resort thing. So there must be some sort of, serious blowback from using his quirk. Some sort of, intense pain that's going to rack him. Or maybe it'll just kill him. Maybe it'll just outright kill Deku after the 5 minutes is up. Unlikely, but that would be pretty interesting. But please let me know what you think down below. What do you think of the color page? Do you think it was in bad taste? Do you think Horikoshi should have done that, earlier, maybe before the big ultimate battle, or just, not at all? How would you have fixed it? What do you think of the battle? What do you think of Deku finally using the second user's quirk? What do you think of Gear Shift as a quirk, as a new quirk for Deku? What do you think its original version was? And how has it changed after, all the power of One For All has been infused into it? And what's going to happen when those 5 minutes are up? Is Deku going to die? Is he going to black out? Is he going to be, racked with pain? Is he going to, in super slow motion? I sped things up, but now I need to go slow to make up for it? That could certainly be funny. And, just what's going to happen with this whole big battle here? Because it seems like Deku is really winning, but at this moment, he's still kind of fighting Shigaraki. All For One has not taken full control yet, and what's more, All For One has access to none of his quirks, none of his actual superpowers. So yeah, there's no way on God's green earth that this fight is anywhere close to being done, but we still haven't seen, a lot of the other fights. We still don't know what's going on with Spinner or with Toga. All For One kind of revived back in the battle against Endeavor, but not really sure what's happening there either. And I've been saying, also, let's not forget, All For One's spies infiltrated UA and are about to, start murdering people. That was a whole other thing. Kind of forgot about that. So yeah, there's still a whole lot that needs to happen, but let me know what you think down below, and until next time, peace!